Thank you. Good afternoon. Initially, when you got to the house, you said other officers had already arrived there, correct?
Correct.
What was happening with Jennifer the first time you saw her?
She was being hailed out of the house by another detective. By hailed, I mean being told to come out of the house.
And at the time, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she complied and came out.
She complied and came out. At the time when she was coming out of the house, being hailed out, she was on her cell phone. Is that fair?
So when I got there, I don't recall exactly what she was doing when she came out of the house. I just got there as she was walking out of the house. I don't recall if she was on her cell phone.
While she was walking out of the house, there were guns drawn. Correct?
Correct.
How many police officers had guns drawn towards Jennifer Crumbley as she walked out of the house?
I couldn't say for certain. When I got there, she was already being told to come out of the house. So at the time, I wasn't really focused on who had their guns out. I was focused on watching the house and making sure nobody else came out. So I couldn't say how many people had their weapons drawn.
Would it be fair to say it was more than one gun?
Yeah, correct.
More than three?
Yeah, there was multiple detectives and officers there when I got there. Again, I don't know how many of them had their guns drawn. I know that I had my gun drawn.
You did have yours drawn?
Correct.
And pointed at Mrs. Crumbly?
No, so when I got there, she was already coming out of the house. I was, like I said, I was more focused on, I believe I was near a tree on the side of the house. So at that time, I don't think I had my gun pointed at her now.
After Mrs. Crumbley came out of the house, and she did come out, correct?
Correct.
She was handcuffed.
So I didn't take part in her being taken to the vehicle, so I'm not sure if she was handcuffed.
And that's fine. I'll ask a different witness then. So after you got to the house, you saw her come out, saw the guns drawn. Did you see Jennifer Crumbley any further that day when you were in the house or otherwise?
After we had executed the search warrant, she was brought back into the house with James, and I saw her inside the house. I didn't have any further communication with her, no.
I just want to be clear about the guns and gun cases, boxes, some of the things we saw on the screen. If you need me to put an exhibit back up, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So the Sig Sauer 9mm gun, the case for that gun, you saw in the master bedroom, open on the bed, correct?
Correct.
And there was a box of bullets, or an empty box of bullets, next to that empty case, correct?
Correct.
In that case, the gun was not there.
Nope. When I initially came into the house and then we conducted the search warrant, it was an empty box.
And you know, and if you're not the right witness, let me know, that James Crumbley had gone to the house and discovered the Sig Sauer was gone from the house.
Yeah, so when I went to the house, I had no knowledge of anything that had occurred prior to me getting to the house. Like I said, I just observed the box where I saw it initially when I did the search, and then after. I don't know how it was placed there or when it was. So
when you were, I just want to be clear, the Sig Sauer was ultimately not in the Crumbley home.
Correct.
The Kel-Tec and the Derringer were found in the Crumbley home.
Mm.
Is that a yes?
Correct.
They were found in a gun safe.
Correct.
And they were found in the gun safe that was in the cabinet in their bedroom.
Correct.
And there was not ammunition stored with the Kel-Tec or Derringer.
Yeah, so the safe, which we saw the pictures of, had the two firearms and some ear protection. There was ammunition found in that same dresser area behind it.
Okay, but not in the same, not within the the exact location of the safe, correct?
Yeah, it was behind. So I can show you the picture. You can kind of see it in the picture. The picture has the safe, and then behind the safe, there was some clothing, and underneath the safe there was the two magazines. There was the gun holster. Then behind that, you can kind of see a box that did have ammunition. I don't recall what kind of ammunition or how much, but there was some located in the bedroom.
Okay, and that's ammunition that goes with those two guns, not the Sig Sauer.
Yeah, so the ammunition that was the empty box on the bed was 9mm. And to be honest, I don't recall what ammunition was found behind the safe, but there was ammunition found behind the safe.
Okay, and then I just want to be clear about one other thing. So there was a kitchen closet we saw where there was like a blender and some other appliances kind of on the floor. You testified that you found the box to the Caltech in that little kitchen area. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, correct.
And that box while that box was in there, there was no gun in the box or anything along those lines.
No, it was the Caltech box just had that cable lock, which was in the bag. That was all that was in there.
So the 3 guns that Jennifer Crumbley and James Crumbley had in their home, the 3 that we've talked about include the Sig Sauer, the Caltech, and the Derringer. It's fair to say there were not any other guns in the home aside from BB guns or pellet guns.
Yeah, so I located the 22 Derringer, the 22 Caltech, and then obviously the firearm, the Sig Sauer, was recovered at the school. And I didn't have any part in the recovery of the actual weapon used.
Well, to me, it looks like they've got a lot of guns, but I can't tell the difference between a BB gun and something else. So I just want to be sure, aside from knowing about the Sig Sauer at the school and the Caltech and the Derringer, all the other guns that we saw in the pictures, those were BB guns or pellet guns.
Correct.
And the casings that we saw on the ground in the snow, those were from BB guns or pellet guns.
Yeah, so the CO2 would be used to operate some of the BB guns that were found in either the shed or the bedroom.
And in the backyard, you could tell that they had shot BB guns there before because there's also targets, correct?
I recall the BBs that were located. There was the empty CO2 cartridges, which would indicate that they were used. I don't recall specific targets in the backyard, but I do recall the other things there.
And then when you were testifying, there was very brief testimony that there was a litter box. That was in the second bedroom of the Crumbley son, correct?
Yeah, when you walk to the right and left was bedrooms. That was the bedroom to the immediate right, and right next to that was the bathroom, and across the hall was what I think we described as the first bedroom.
And just very quickly, when you were executing the first warrant, the Crumbleys had a dog in the house.
Yeah, there was a dog in the house. I didn't have any dealings with the dog. I believe the uniformed officers went into the house first, and I think the dog was friendly, so we didn't have any issues with the dog.
And then there was a cat and a kitten. Do you recall that? And if you don't, that's okay.
I don't recall the cat and the kitten.
Okay, I have nothing further.
Redirect.
Just briefly. Detective, why did you approach the home with guns drawn?
Yeah, so I mean, again, we didn't have a whole lot of information about what we were going into. I mean, obviously we had just come from the scene of shooting. Yeah.
So the information you were given, you knew that there was a mass casualty event at Oxford High School.
Correct.
And you found
Your
out.
Honor, I would just object to the leading questions.
Just trying to orient the witness to where he was and why.
Okay, question answer, please.
So you had already been at the Oxford High School?
Correct.
And you knew what had happened there?
Your Honor,
Okay.
I would object to the leading.
Well, that was a yes or no. Did he already know what had happened at Oxford High School? That would certainly affect whether or not he approached a house with his gun drawn, right?
And the assignment to secure 112 East, you told us that you were given an assignment by Lieutenant Hicks?
Correct.
Okay. And at that time, did you know what you were going to find there?
No.
And what information did you have at that point?
That the shooter resided there, and to go to the house and secure the house prior to the search warrant being drafted. There wasn't a whole lot of information given at the time. Everything was kind of quick moving at that moment.
Okay. Well, this is Exhibit 200 on the screen here. You were asked about the 22 ammunition. So in that locking case with the 000 combination, there was no ammunition in that case, correct?
No, there was not.
But you did find ammunition in the same location.
Yeah, so I guess you can't see it, but it was underneath the.
So I'll move
Yeah,
to
you
201.
can kind of see where the two magazines are. There's a box behind it. It's like a
gray, red, and black.
Yeah, yep, that's the box to ammunition. I don't recall what specific caliber was recovered, but it was a box with ammunition. It's right behind the holster right there.
Okay. Okay, I've got the further, Josh. Thank you.
So you can step down and you're just